What is Claude? What can it do? Is it better than ChatGPT or Gemini or Grok or Manus? Is it secure? How can it help my business? These are some of the questions I get asked most as an AI coach and an educator. Well, I'm going to answer those questions and more in this video, and I'll do it in plain English. Hi, I'm Dr. Kim, also known as the AI Doctor, and today is day one of our Claude Challenge. So let's answer the actual question. What is Claude? Claude is an AI assistant. At its simplest, it's a website and an app on your phone where you type or you talk or in plain English, and it answers you in plain English. No special words, no code. You ask the way you'd ask a person, and it responds the way a person would. It's made by a company called Anthropic, and Claude is made to be careful, honest, and steady enough to put real work in front of it. And that's one of the reasons why I use it in my business. So, what makes it more than maybe, say, a fancy search bar? I want you to picture a sharp new team member that started work on Monday. They're capable, they're quick, they're really eager to please, but they don't know how to do anything until you teach it how you actually work. This is basically what Claude is. Type something in that's half-baked and you're going to get something half-baked back. But once you start handling it real information, real data, real information about your business, and you learn to talk to it, the whole thing changes. So how does Claude actually work? Well, when you're typing on your phone, you're basically texting on your phone and it guesses the next word while you're texting. So you may be typing, I'm running a little, and then it automatically puts in the word late. Well, nobody sat your phone down and explained your schedule or uploaded your schedule to it. It's just seen late follow running a little enough times to make a good guess. So Claude is the same thing, basically, just grown up about a million times over and on steroids. In techie speak, it's a large language model, also known as an LLM. But unless you're going to get really technical, you really don't have to worry about that phrase ever again after today. So, before you ever typed a word into it, Claude read an enormous amount of writing. It read books, it read articles, it read conversations, it read how-to guides, it read entire libraries, and it has years of how people actually put words together. So, out of all of that reading, it got good at one thing, sensing what needs to come next in a piece of writing. So when you ask it something, it builds the answer one piece at a time and predicting the next bit that's based on everything it's absorbed, everything that it's read so far. And that's why Claude writes so naturally. So because Claude is predicting what sounds right, every once in a while, every now and again, it'll hand you something that sounds airtight but absolutely is not true. It sounds like a clean, confident, but absolutely wrong answer. And this is why you should always verify your responses in any AI tool, not just Claude. Two questions I also get. Where did Claude learn all of this, and is my stuff safe in there? And these are really fair questions. So where it learned. Before Claude ever met you, it read a huge pile of public writing from the internet, plus material that the company licensed or paid for. That's its education, that's its schooling, that's how it was trained. And it does have a cutoff date, just like a textbook printed in 2024 wouldn't have information about 2026 in it. So for anything that's recent, it can go on the web and it can look up things, but its core education stopped at a point in time. And that's part of why it's a sharp reader and not necessarily kind of like a crystal ball. So the conversation that really matters for your business is that when you type into Claude, is your conversation being used to train it? That's one of the concerns that business owners have. So here's the honest version. On the regular personal plans, like the free one, the pro, the max, there's a setting that controls that. You can decide whether your chats help improve Claude or stay out of it completely. So you'll find it under settings and then go to privacy. So if you're putting anything sensitive on there, like client details, real numbers, ideas that you're not ready to share, I want you to go and flip that toggle off, and I'll show you where it is in a minute. Flip that toggle off and get on with your day. That way you won't be sharing your information to help improve Claude. If you are doing like serious confidential work, the business and the enterprise plans are built completely different. On those, your conversations are not used for training at all. That's the tier that you would put a law firm or a medical office on. And a few things that are true no matter what plan you're on. Anthropic does not sell your data. There are no ads in Claude, so nobody is paying to get in front of you. Your connection is encrypted, and it's the same type of encryption, the same kind of protection that your online banking uses. So you can delete your conversations whenever you want. So none of this means that you can dump your most sensitive secrets into any chat window. No one's. Don't ever do that. It means know your settings and match the tool to the job. Personal plan for personal work, business plan for client work, and the off switch is right there when you want it. That's not paranoia. That's just basically running your shop like a real business professional. So let's compare other AI tools that are out there. So ChatGPT is the one that most people met first. It does a little bit of everything. It makes images, it has more add-ons bolted onto it and other apps that you can use with it. And if you want one generalist that you never have to think hard about, that's the lane. Gemini belongs to Google and it lives inside of Gmail, it lives inside of Google Docs, it lives inside of everything that's Google. So you have that available to you if your business already runs on Google. Grok is built by xAI and it's wired to X, the site that used to be Twitter. So its trick is that live data and what people are saying right this very minute. This is handy when you need real-time read on a trend. Manus is a really different animal. You don't really chat with it. You can, but it's really not meant for that, and you're wasting it if you're just chatting with it. You hand Manus a goal or a project, and you basically walk away while it does the whole thing from start to finish. Now, here's the funny thing about Manus. Much of Manus's heavy thinking actually runs on Claude underneath. So even Manus has been borrowing the Claude engine. And then there's Claude. And Claude sounds more like a human being. It sounds specifically more like you once you teach it your voice. So, long, messy documents, it reads without losing the thread. You can also build applications and other real things that you can keep. And Claude also has judgment and discernment to tell you when your ideas need work instead of clapping every time you put something in and making it sound like everything that you do is perfect. So I could keep describing it, but watching it is better. So let me show you four completely different ways to use Claude right now. Okay, now we are in the Claude environment. And remember, I told you I was going to show you how to toggle on and off the sharing of your information. Well, if you come down here to your initials, if you click on your initials and you come up to settings, and then come into privacy, then you can see how we protect your data, how we use your data. And you can also see right here, help improve our AI models. Now, I have this toggled off because I do not want Claude using my conversations and my information to train the AI model that it's running on. So you want it to look like this if you want to turn it off. If you want to turn it on and allow Claude to use your information to train on, then you would toggle it back on. But for now, I am going to leave mine off. And that's how you turn it off. So let's take a look at one of the things I love to do with Claude, and that is summarize and shorten documents, because Lord knows sometimes I don't feel like reading through really long documents. So what I'm going to do is paste in the transcript from a meeting that I had, and I can either paste it in like this, or I can upload the actual document itself. Either way, we have the transcript inside of Claude. And then I am going to simply give it a prompt and I'm going to tell it, Here's the transcript from a discovery call. Give me three things that actually matter: what this client really needs, the biggest risk in this deal, and the one thing I should follow up on. Skip the play by play. Now, what this does is it allows me to not have to read through the entire transcript. And it was about 4 pages. I don't have to read through the entire transcript, and Claude is going to give me the 3 points that I asked for. So here we have the entire call boiled down to what I need to do next. And this is the great part of it, because now I don't have to read the whole thing. It's going to tell me what they actually need, what the biggest risk is, and what the one follow-up is. So the second thing that I'm going to show you how to do is teach Claude your voice and then watch it draft a document. So this is the difference between AI that sounds like a robot and AI that actually sounds like you. So here is my voice brief. Write in my voice from now on: warm but direct, short, plain sentences, no M dashes or N dashes anywhere. Never use these phrases: game changer, leverage as a verb, best practices, circle back. Don't fearmonger. Always pair a problem with the next step, and sign off with ciao for now. Okay, great. Now I'm going to give it some instructions. I've told it how to write. Now I'm going to tell it what to write. And that is, using that voice, write a 3-sentence Facebook post that tells small business owners AI works better when you treat it like a new hire that you train, not a magic button that you press. So I gave it my rules once, and watch how fast it starts to respond, and it sounds more like me. So notice that there are no dashes in there. It doesn't have any of those forbidden phrases. And it gave me, most people press AI like a vending machine and get mad when junk falls out. It works the way a sharp new hire works. Give it context, show it what good looks like, and correct the first few times. Pick one task you do every week and write down how you actually do it, and hand it to your AI before you ask for anything. Ciao for now. So it gave me exactly what I wanted in that context. Now, here's a good one. I am going to make Claude argue with me. Yes, argue with me, because if you've noticed, every time you put something into an AI model, it basically agrees with everything that you say. Nothing you do is ever wrong. But Claude has discernment, and it does have judgment, and you can trigger it to happen, or you can just allow it to happen naturally. Because my Claude, I don't know about yours, but my Claude tells me pretty regularly when I'm going off the rails and when I'm going off the deep end. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to paste in just some thoughts. So the thought for today is, I'm thinking about raising my group program from 1,500 to 2,500. Don't agree with me. Argue the other side. What breaks at the higher price? Who do I lose? And what would I have to do to be true for this work? Be blunt. So we're going to let that run, and it's going to probably reference some of the programs that I already have in here because it's trained on my business. And here you have it. So Claude has said, here's a case against, made as strong as I can make it. The thing the price tag hides, going from 1,500 to 2,500, is a 67% jump, and you're treating it like it's repositioning, like it's a tweak. That number isn't an adjustment you slip past your audience. It's a different offer that happens to share curriculum with the old one. And if you ship it as the same program, new price, the same show. So what breaks first is the easy yes. Okay, we understand that, because somewhere around $2,000, a service business owner stops buying on instinct and they start buying on justification. And that is a psychological fact. So that it actually is accurate about. The next is, then your fill rate breaks, and the fill rate is part of the product. The next is, and your ladder spacing breaks. If your done with you cohort still opens around 3,500, then 2,500 puts the group program $1,000 under it. Now, who you actually lose? So you lose the skeptic. You also lose the funnel feeder. So this is giving me great counterintuitive information, and it's not agreeing with me. It's basically poking holes in my entire theory, everything that I was thinking. So the blunt version, $2,500 is a bigger promise than $1,500, and from the outside, I can't tell yet whether your proof, your ladder, and your follow-up can cash that check. It's three of those six conditions aren't already true. What you've scheduled isn't a price increase, it's a harder launch into a thinner room. So you can use Claude for brainstorming. You can use Claude to help you find where your offers may not be as strong as you would like them to be, or you can use Claude to also help you find and develop new offers. But also, it'll tell you like it is, and it will be wonderfully and brutally frank or extremely blunt. So the last thing I'm going to show you how to do today is be a mini developer. Now, I know there are times where we have wanted to create things and build little mini apps, things that little productivity things that'll help us with our day. So here we have a prompt. Build me a simple calculator I can use with clients. It takes their hourly rate and the number of hours a task eats every week and shows what that task is costing them per month and per year. Make it clean and easy to read. So what Claude is going to do is it's going to take a look at my prompt and it's going to go through and it's actually going to build this client task cost calculator. So here we have it. One sentence, no code, no developer, no 3-week timeline, just a description of what I wanted. So we have our notes over here on the left, 2 inputs, 2 numbers, and 1 line does the real work. The math is the obvious part. Rate times hours times 52 for the year divided by 12 for the month. I didn't even have to give it a formula. So if the hourly rate is 150 and they're spending 5 hours on a task, then it's costing them $32.50 per month and it's costing them $39,000 per year. Oh my goodness. So what if the task is only 2 hours long and it recalculated 1,300 per month, 15,600 per year? What if the hourly rate is $200 an hour? It's costing them $1,733 per month and $2,800 per year. So this is an example of a mini app that you can create that you can use to help you with your productivity in your business. All right, so we've created a document reader and got a summary of a meeting, a copywriter, a business advisor, and a developer. One tool, one tab, and just one afternoon in just a few minutes, really. So the reason that people usually feel behind on AI usually isn't because of the tool they picked. It's because they picked a bunch of tools and they've gone shallow on those tools instead of going deep on one. So my advice to you, business owner, pick one tool, go deep into the knowledge of that tool, and I'm going to show you how in this series. So this is the end of day one. What is Claude? You now understand what it is, how it works, and a few of the things that you can do it. I showed you how to summarize a meeting, how to write in your voice, and how to use it as an advisor, and how to build a simple mini app. So tomorrow, I'm going to show you exactly how to talk to Claude to get the best responses. It's called prompting, and when you use a specific framework, you get the best information. But before we go, I've got some homework for you. What I want you to do is open up Claude and put it to work on one real thing from your actual week. That's it. Now you can give it a practice question. Like, don't give it like, write me a poem about a cat. Give it something you genuinely need done, and you can use the prompts in the handout that's attached to this video. The whole point is to feel the difference between hearing about Claude and using it. So pick whichever one fits your week and paste this in. I've got something to read, so you can drop in a long email thread, drop in a contact or a contract, notes from a call, and then type, give me the 3 things that actually matter here in plain English. If you have a decision to make, tell Claude about the situation and then type, I'm deciding whether to, and then whatever your decision is. Don't just agree with me, argue the other side so I can see what I'm missing. If you have something to write, tell it what you need. Then type, write a first draft of this. Keep it short and sound like a real person, not a press release. All of this is just one task, one real thing that you move off your plate, and it's going to only take you 5 minutes. So you can spare 5 minutes this week. When you're done, when you've actually done it, come back to the group, come back to this video and tell us, what did you do? Did it surprise you? One sentence is plenty. You don't have to write an entire soliloquy, but seeing what other people are trying is half the value. And it's also how you spot uses that you may not have thought of previously. So do the same task in ChatGPT and Gemini too, and notice which answer you would actually use. There are no wrong or right answers, just which one you prefer. So that way you're starting to build a feel for which tool fits which job and which tool is going to help you the most in your business. And that's basically the whole game for this series. I'm going to say ciao for now, and I'll see you tomorrow.